Welcome back, whippersnappers. This is Gramps. We are in Shapes 2, Challenge Mode, Dimension Update. And last episode, we made this little divider for starting our MAM. Okay, and this just breaks up in all the individual shapes into everything that we want. And you know what? I am going to do one more modification to this. I'm going to take that and put it down there. I'll take this and I'm just going to give it a little extra space. Boink. And then I'm going to take this and same thing, just give it a little extra space. No, I had it right. Right there. Alright, whatever. It just spaces them out more. So I did take this block and I removed our little test pattern here and I plugged in the random operator shape, and you can see only the top part is lit up because this is a single layer shape. It only has that one layer, and down here is null. So these are all dead, even though the signals are lit up. But remember, that's an input coming from here into here. That's why those ones are lit up. So yes, that, and I also moved it right next to the hub just so we know where it is. So one of my ideas was I was going to take this and use all of this for our MAM. I realized that's not really going to work the way I wanted it to. So I hate to say it, but yeah, I think this is all dead. I'm going to cut that off right there. And I'm just going to kill off each of these trains. Actually, by doing that. And I think what I need to do... Oh, let's do the same over here. Gonna kill. And yeah. I'm gonna get rid of this. And that as well. Yeah. So there you go. This is where we're at. We're sort of starting from scratch, but we still have all of this built. Well, okay, but I'm going to change this too. So, yeah, I'm going to get rid of that and this. And instead, have these come together. Shape loading. So yeah, we'll do 1, 2, 3. Up. And then 4 or 5. Okay, so the shapes are all still coming together. Just now, like that. Okay. And I don't want to have a wait stop. I'm just going to put a regular stop in here. These are actually going to cycle through for the first time in quite a while, which is exciting. Now let's do the same thing over here for colors. I'm going to put you there and there, get rid of you and you. Boing, boing, and boing. Okay. So we're going to get those going like so. That means these guys are just going to be 3 each. These guys are going to be 5 each. So we can get rid of that. And 5 each. Okay. And the way it's going to work is each of these is going to supply a different layer in the MAM. Okay, we will have a similar build to what we have for the task MAM out here. What we're going to have is shape unloaders. Okay, so we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I am going to put a wait stop for the unload. I want to make sure it's fully unloaded. So this will be It doesn't matter really which one it is. Let's say this is layer 1. But then what we're going to do is we're going to have a train come down for layer 2, 3, and 4. So, whatever we have here will then be duplicated like so. So layer 2 might be here, layer 3 and 4 will be down there. All right, I can worry about that now, but I do want to worry about this. I'm going to leave yellow going up top. I'm going to have all the others come down this way. And white. Okay, so only the yellow train, this guy, is going to be delivering for our first layer. Now, we are also going to have, we'll bump this up, right? So we'll have 3 of each one for each layer. At least 3. Maybe we'll add more later on. Okay. So that is for shapes. Now for color, we're going to do same thing, but lower and out here. So we will have fluid unloader 1, 2, 3. And yes, again, a wait stop. Okay, but I think for these, I might, because I want to do something a little different, so I might do this. Okay. Alright, we'll see. Now let's do the same up here for these guys. We can connect this. And that is going to come down this way. And again, we'll let yellow keep going that way. But but yes, there we go. Finally. But magenta, cyan, and white trains are going to go down this way. So only the yellow train for color is going to go that way. And colors I'm picking are very random here. I'm going to give us a little bit more room here. By doing that. You know what? I'm going to give us a lot more room by doing this. And hopefully I didn't just erase everything I did. Let's go take a look. No, we're good. All right. So. Yeah, this is good. And I think is making sense to me. All right. So, here's what we want to do. By the way, this is really where the rubber meets the road. This is sort of this is endgame in Shapes 2. And I explain to people because people sometimes are confused about what Shapes and Shapes 2 is. And I say, well, the thing about it is it's a game where you end up building a machine that plays the game for you. And that's what we're doing right now. We are building a machine that will play the game for us. And the fun is that's just a challenge, right? So that's the exciting thing for me anyway. And so if you enjoy that, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Please give me a like. I'm trying to build my channel, and every subscription helps. You know, we're getting closer and closer. We're trying to get to that magical, mystical 1,000. And right now we're just teetering a little bit over 350. Most of the people who watch my channel are not subscribed, and I understand. But if you've got some time, a subscription really does help, and it makes a big difference. Please also feel free to comment. I love the comments. I get constructive feedback from all my subscribers. It's great. I love it. Okie doke. Here's where we're at. So what I want to do is this. I'm going to have things going this way. Things are going to go to the side. This is a single layer of our shape, and this is going to be our top layer. And then each of these is going to be a quadrant. And what we'll do is probably have this be the top right quadrant, the northeast. Then this be the southeast, southwest, northwest. Something like that, okay? We'll try and do something that makes sense. Some sort of logical sense. So we bring a full shape in of each of these, and if it meets our arrangement, we ship it on down this way. And in our case, our top right shape is a square. So we're going to grab squares and go to the right with full squares. Even though we only need a quarter, we're going to grab the full thing and go to the right. After we have those shapes, we're going to bring them over into this general area and paint them here. After that, we need to cut and rotate them. Then we need to start stacking them. And that gets tricky, but we'll go over that when we get there. So I'm recording this in the future. This is an overdub. If anybody is super familiar with OBS, any help would be welcome. For some reason, I'm no longer able to hear my own voice when I record in OBS. I used to be able to hear my own voice fine, and now I can't. It normally records, but I had to re-record this second section because my computer was full, and so it stopped recording. All right, here I'm going to set labels so I know which quadrant I am working on. I'm going to start off with the northeast. And we'll do the southeast. We'll do southwest. And northwest. Anyway, so I started recording the second section here, and I thought it was recording everything fine. It recorded the game audio fine, but did not record my voice. So while thinking about this, I realized that I'm not doing this exactly right, but it's very close. And I will show you the changes I'm making next episode. But it relates to this right here with these three little inputs. No, we're not going to do that. So that's going to be something that changes next episode. So I put in these filters, then I realized that's not going to work for what I'm doing here. So I'm going to reroute those and put them in here instead. And of course, the last one doesn't need to carry on. I'm building this whole section live. I hadn't really thought this out ahead of time. So you can see I'm going to go through a couple different variations. That's just part of the charm of working with Gramps. But that's also why I'm speeding up through all of this, because this is not going to last either. Now, one of the things I just realized as I was working on this is I've made a mistake. Yet another mistake, but this one I'm going to correct here. Is that the shapes that I'm sending are painted. These need to not be painted, because if they're painted, and if they actually have color, then they're not going to make it through that first filter. So I'm going to correct these to just send the shape, not the color. And again, one of the great things about having unlimited, essentially infinite number of broadcast channels and receiver channels is that we can create a whole second set of these that does have them painted. So I probably should have saved this, but that's okay. And I noticed too that these are yellow because they're being given a channel designator, but they have no information coming into them. So yellow, green, and red appear to be the three different things. Red means, with red, there's no channel designator. With yellow, there's a designator, but no information. And green is designator and information. So now on these platforms, I'm going to place the global receiver. And this is going to receive the information from those transmitters we were just working on. Starting with the northeast. Because I made these a little complex, which makes it easier to read, it's just easier to copy paste them. I'm going to give it an extra little space here just in case I wanted to do something else with the signal. So running the wire to all these filters is great, but now is where I realize, oh, I can't get across here. I mean, I could by, going up and around and looping and blah, blah, blah. So let's reorganize these. Oh, no, but first we're going to do this. And I decided to do it the really complex way and try to redraw it as opposed to just copying and pasting for some reason. I don't know why. All right, so I want the wire to just go straight. So let's figure out a way to do this. And there you go. So do I want to jump the shape, which actually isn't bad, or do I want to jump the wire? Well, I start off by jumping the wire, so I'm going to continue with jumping the wire. All right, that looks a lot better to me. So I think that's what we're going to use. All right, so I need to get the correct one into this northwest. Again, easiest to just go and copy, paste. Northwest, there we go. It's a different order on the transmitters than over here on the receivers, just because of the only having the clockwise rotator. So the other thing that's nice about this is it doesn't matter which shape gets delivered into which unloader. I'm going to go ahead and send some shapes in and test it out. See if we're at least getting the right shapes through. And then I remembered that I was super smart and I used filler trains. So I rebuild these all using non-filler trains, since we no longer have the spaces. And while I'm doing that, I should go and do the same for color, because I will forget that as well. All right, shapes are coming in, and you can see this bottom one, which should be a circle. The square stops here, which is great. The square also stops here, because this should be a spike. So yeah, circle, spike, spike, and then the top one is a square. The square should be going through, but oh no, that's right. We're only looking for the top right rectangle piece. So we've got to do some shenanigans and take this quadrant and turn it into a full shape. So we're going to do that by using some of the virtual machines that I explained last episode. We're going to use a rotator. We're going to use stackers, and that is going to work for us. So putting those together like that makes a half square. Not quite what we wanted. That works. But let's try to make this a little bit more compact. And there we go. That's what we want. So we can take this and we can copy it down to each of the other sections. So putting it there gives us a full spiky shape. So one more thing, at the end of each of these sections, let's put in something that says, hey, are you the right shape that's supposed to be here? Because it works great now, but what happens when the next shape comes out? This isn't always going to be spikies here. So let's just clear it out as soon as possible. And we'll put that at the end of each of the shape sections. That's what we need right now. So that is all set. Now the next stage is going to be color. Coloring, painting is going to take place here. But right now, we're just going to skip it. Because these first couple shapes, like until we get into the teens or so, they're just going to be black and white. So let's skip over that. We'll come back later. What I want to do now is work on the cut and rotate side of things. I'm not sure how much space we need, so let's take a... I think we're going to do... Let's do a 1x3 here. So we're going to bring the shapes in and cut them in half. Then we're going to separate that into 2 belts. And yeah, I just made a mistake. I catch it. I'll be back to fix it. And let's copy these labels down too. Why not? Why not get way ahead of ourselves? So I'm going to take the output of these and turn them, I'm going to rotate them to make them horizontal so they can each be cut again. Remember, each belt needs 4 cutters. And the top one we want the northeast corner. Bottom one, we're going to do this. Yeah, let's make this one pretty. Let's make this one line up. Even though, as I said, it's still wrong. But you see, yeah, we have some northeast ones, which is good, and then some northwest. Basically what we would expect to have 2 separate ones. And down at the bottom too. So we've got more room on the bottom. Let's do those first. We'll pull those guys out first, and then we'll pull out these guys. Now we have 2 belts. Sadly, they are not the same thing. I guess I don't notice that yet. Oh, no, I do. That's why I cleared it out. All right, we're going to go through this a little bit. Let's skip ahead. Okay, so I finally realized, oh yeah, we need to cut and divide. So let's take this, flip it around, and do this. Yes, that's what we want. Now everything is coming out the same on each individual lane. So the top one you can see are all on the east side, and the bottom one is all on the west side. All right, now let's make it pretty. So again, out of this, I'm going to end up with 4 lanes of northeast shapes. And also remember, these will be completely accurately colored. In this case, uncolored, which is fine. So that takes up exactly half of the platform, which is perfect. And that too. So again, they're coming in and getting subdivided. So half of these are correct in the northeast position and the other half are in the northwest position. So all we have to do is take the two center ones, are northwest, and we just need to get those going in the correct orientation. And I realize, oh, I didn't put that in the correct spot. Let's move it. Done and done. And then these guys are in the correct spot, so we're all set. So now I'm realizing too, oh yeah, we could get away with just doing a 1x2. So let's change to that. Now, of course, all of those rotations I did only works for the northeast. So I'm going to have to go in and change them all to be accurate. So let's copy over these labels again. Yay. I think I do this a little bit more efficiently. Cut off all the rotations. Clear it out. Boom. And you see on this one, the correct shape is still going to the outside, which is great. And then we just need to correct these guys by giving them a counterclockwise rotation. And there as well. So same thing, I just make sure these are all rotated correctly. So the nice thing about all of these builds that I'm doing right here is so far everything is all on one layer. So I can take all this and copy it up to 3 layers. Now on these ones, I notice that it's the inner channels that are correct and the outer channels that need to be rotated. And that is all of our shapes selected, cut, and rotated. Now the next thing we have to do after this is we're going to have to stack everything. But that gets tricky because this shape is a full shape. It's a shape with 4 quadrants. But we might get a shape, we very likely will get a shape that will be only 3 quadrants. Possibly even only 2 quadrants. So we're going to have to come up with some logic that says, hey, if we do have multiple quadrants, then go into the stacker. Otherwise, we need to go around the stacker. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. Let's claim some prizes first. 1, 2, yeah. That was over 2 million shapes we just got in. That's pretty great. So I might also want to make another trash bin here that throws away these shapes if these are not the correct shapes for what we're currently working on. So we'll do that probably next episode as well. We also have to keep in mind, the difficulties of trash bins with multiple layers. And those ones are going to have to show them as colored. So we may go back and duplicate this whole thing again and make a version that has colors. So we're going to label this one shapes only. Maybe we'll duplicate this and call it shapes and colors. But we're going to catch up with all that next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if this is helping you at all, please like and please subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. It helps me out. Very thankful for it. So we'll catch you next episode. This is Gramps, signing off.